Another week filled with amazing trades from the daily market breakdown videos. Let's get into this week's Forex Forecast. So as you can see on the daily chart here, we were in contact with this daily downward trend line and we actually broke above it, which has left us with a pretty decent daily demand zone located at 103.58. Now if we do, we could definitely see the dollar pull back this week to this daily area of demand, especially since we've been on almost a 90-degree angle to the upside looking at this weekly chart. And who knows, we could be pulling back to this demand zone to fuel up for a bigger move. If you look at a weekly chart here, you can see there's a pretty clear target up to 111 in the long term, guys. I'm not saying this is going to go up in 1 week. I can already see the hateful comments I'm going to get now just from saying that. But look, we are in contact with some sort of selling here on the weekly time frame. Now, it's all going to depend around that daily area of demand, like I said. So either what's going to happen is, or what happened either is this is a big fake out and we're either going to push back down. This is all a big fake out on the dollar, or we're going to obviously we could just continue to push up, or we fuel up down at this demand and continue to push up higher. So in my opinion, the US dollar is now going to revolve around this daily area of demand. And on the lower time frames, like the 4-hour chart, you can see here we've clearly had zones being respected along the way up to continue with this overall 4-hour trend. This is a zone I pointed out for the members in the Discord group, saying, look, if this zone is, as long as this zone is holding, the dollar is strong and it is definitely a buy in my opinion. So as long as we have this 4-hour trend to the upside, the trend on the 1-hour chart, everything there, as long as we have that, day trading longs are fine. And as soon as we lose the trend on the 1-hour chart, then I think, hey, maybe we're going to pull back down to daily demand located at 103.58, like I was saying earlier. On to the Euro US dollar. The past week, the banks added 6,925 long contracts, and they also added 8,028 short contracts. And remember, if you are liking this video so far, make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel. On to the Euro weekly chart here, there is some sort of buying down below, so we definitely could start to see the Euro turn around, but I honestly think we could hit this weekly demand zone located at 1.07 and then kind of rally out of here. Now, this zone has been tested once, twice. The third time it gets tested, and if you guys don't know much about supply and demand, that actually makes it weaker in my opinion based on what I understand about supply and demand. So yes, we could react off the zone again, but it is kind of weak. But what's kind of intriguing me is there is this little buying area right here. If you look at a weekly chart, it's a little bit of a drop base rally here. Pretty clean looking zone, nice move away. We just recently contacted it, so yeah, we could see the euro maybe have a good couple days to the upside here, but at the end of the day, we have pretty clean 1-hour and 4-hour downtrends. So as long as that is intact, I think looking for shorts are fine. The problem with this supply zone at 1.089 on the euro on the 4-hour chart here is that if we do pull up to this supply, at that point it'll be above the trend line, which you guys know, a lot of members know I'm not a huge fan of that. But if we do pull back to this supply at 1.08, I think we could continue to go down as long as we don't hit that weekly demand zone first. So let's say if we hit the weekly demand zone first and then rally up, I don't really like this zone at all. But let's say we rally up from here, we do not hit the weekly demand down below, we rally up to here, we could then look for shorts off of that 4-hour time frame. But like I said, confirmation trading will be definitely necessary. I just drew a new supply zone here. I'm going to actually ignore this supply zone for trading because I think the better one is this one. So confirmation trades on the day trading time frames would actually be your best bet coming off of the 4-hour supply on the euro located at 1.089. On to the forecast for gold. The past week, the banks got rid of 6,738 long contracts, and they also added 12,452 contracts. Looking at the weekly chart here, we'll do a top down. Still waiting patiently for 1870. For those who've been following me for a while now, you guys know I've been waiting very patiently for 1870 at that weekly demand zone. I think we are still possibly going to pull back down to that weekly area demand. Daily chart real quick. We have very clean looking daily downtrend. Yes, the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days have been pretty green on gold, but I honestly think this is a potential temporary pullback to then pull back down to 1870, 1860. That's what I think is going to take place here on gold. Now, as far as trading gold, how do we trade it? Well, we actually already had this 1-hour demand zone right here at 1904. This was a zone I pointed out for the diamond members in the daily market breakdown video. If you want access to that video that I do every single day, because look, sometimes I will point out trades in the weekly Forex forecast. For example, if it was up here price was up here, we didn't hit this demand zone, I would have said, look, we could look for buys in this demand zone, but that didn't happen. That's why I do it throughout the week. So join the Diamond membership. We'll be happy to see you guys join the team and get these videos to catch trades like this one here on gold. So demand has already been in play. The trade has pretty much already worked out to the long side. This was kind of just a random 1 hour zone. But if you look on the 1 hour chart again, we weren't just randomly buying a 1 hour zone down here. Yes, this one worked out pretty good, but that was a very, very risky setup. That's why I wanted to wait for at least the 1 hour trend to kind of be up first before we just get in long. So there was really no daily demand here to be looking at, but it was a decent daily 1 hour zone. That's why I pointed it out to the Diamond members. So as far as gold goes now, how do we trade it? It's definitely risky in my opinion. Like I said, I'm expecting gold to roll back over down to 1870. I personally think this 1 hour trade is kind of just a quick little in and out 2-to-1, 3-to-1 scalp, and then it's going to reverse. So if you really, really want to trade gold now, I'm really not seeing any decent zones. Yeah, we have a demand zone down here at 1899, but I would pretty much ignore it. So if we do get something like this, where we break this demand, it's already been proven that it is demand. If we're left with 1 hour supply here, that would be your 1 hour trade down to 1870. So this is kind of what I'm looking for on gold now, just kind of based on how I trade. So the long has already taken place. Now we just need to wait patiently for the proven demand to be removed and leave us with 1 hour supply so we can hop in short down to 1870. USDJPY forecast. The past week, the banks added 8,253 longs and they got rid of 6,109 shorts. Real quick, what pairs are you guys looking to trade this week? Let me know in the comments down below what your opinion on the market is. I'm always interested to hear your guys' thoughts. So on to the weekly chart here of the USD. Remember, weekly demand has now become in contact right here at 146.6. So we could expect to see downside pressure. We haven't really seen it that much. We did get that pullback, but on the daily chart here, just such a strong, daily trend on USD yen. So how do we trade this one now? Well, with the 4 hour trend to the upside and the 1 hour trend to the upside, we could definitely just continue to look for longs. We pretty much have, trends on all 4 time frames except for the weekly chart. The fact that the weekly supply top left screen is in control makes me a little bit nervous, but with the trends being so strong, I think longs are still probably one of the safest things to do. Onto the 4 hour chart here. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and draw this 4 hour area of demand. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to draw that demand. We will talk about that maybe in a tips video, but not going to call it demand. Really, the only demand I see is down here at 143.80 on the 4 hour chart. If we do get a pullback down here, you could use this 4 hour demand for confirmation. So you could go down to a day trading time frame and refine your entry and get a better entry and confirm it as well. So either that or we wait for new 4 hour zones to be formed along the way up, or even 1 hour zones to be formed. So what I am personally waiting for here, I like to enter on a 1 hour chart. And since we have now confirmed that the 1 hour trend is continued, what I'm waiting for is probably something like this where we have a nice rally-based rally demand and I buy a pullback down to demand like that, just like I did back here on the USD. I don't know if you guys remember me pointing out this trade right here. So I'm basically looking at mimicking the exact same setup, but up here now, because no, I was not really looking for longs in USD yen as we were pulling back here. But now that we have proven that the trend is up again on the 1 hour chart, that is my sign that, hey, I need to be on the 1 hour chart looking for fresh 1 hour demand zones to buy pullbacks to demand. But remember, weekly supply is in control, so it's definitely a little bit risky right now. But based on how I work and how I trade, I play the long game. I play the probability game, and I trade with the trend, and I just take the setups usually. Sometimes I will risk half or less when we come into contact with a opposing zone, but sometimes I don't. Like I said, I just play the long game. I let my risk to reward play out in the long run. I just take my setups as I see them. That's why I'm still looking for longs here in the USD yen. GBPUSD forecast. The past week, the banks, they added 7,520 longs and they got rid of 599 shorts. You guys remember I was talking about the pound up here. I was saying we're either going to push up, obviously, or push back down to demand. I think it's safe to say that we are pulling back to weekly demand at 1.25. This would be a decent area to look for longs in. So if you're a swing trader and you're looking to trade the pound long, I would definitely wait for this weekly demand zone to be hit at 1.25 before even considering long. With that being said, we have profit margin to the downside still here on the GBP USD, but something that has significant has happened as well here. If you look at a daily chart, we are in contact with this daily demand zone at 1.258. This demand zone essentially is fresh. We almost hit it, 3 times, but it is fresh. So we definitely could see the move off of the zone. So any trades to the short side should be taken with caution right now. And just wanted to point this out. Look at how successful we have been in the pound this week. We caught not only one trade off of a 1 hour supply zone with basically no drawdown, almost pretty much a 10-to-1 trade, but 2 trades. Again, another trade on the pound here, and even some members were getting involved in these trades as well. So remember, links in the description down below to those daily market breakdown videos. You guys do not want to miss any more trades like this. I hate bringing it up all the time, but I mean, the results are absolutely incredible to catch trades like this. It's so exciting. It's really honestly so exciting to see the members catching it as well. Lifetime access is available, by the way. I know I hate paying monthly fees. That's why I recently introduced the lifetime access, and the price will be going up. So hop on that as soon as possible. As far as a pound goes now, like I said, the trades have already kind of taken place, but with profit margin down to 1.25, I would say is pretty safe to assume. If we get new 1 hour supply zones just like this one and this one, if we get new ones, those will be the 1 hour supply zone trades down to that weekly area of demand. So even if you're a day trader, right, 1 hour downtrend, 4 hour downtrend on the pound here, we could still look for shorts on the day trading timeframes. We need to be trading with caution because the daily demand is in control. But like I said, profit margin definitely down to weekly demand at 1.25. So that's why I was encouraging members, we could definitely still look for shorts coming off these supply zones here. So just absolutely killing it lately on the pound. But for now, really no setups for me to point out. USDCAD forecast. The past week, the banks got rid of 460 long contracts and they got rid of 1,119 shorts. Daily supply is still in control. I'm not really liking this price action around here. It's been proven supply. If you look at the wicks out of the supply zone, it is clearly some sort of selling, especially when you see such a big red candle like this. But if you look, we kind of just based up here, and it looks like we want to kind of explode to the upside at 1.37. I think, if you just get a bigger perspective here, this purple zone here is definitely a zone of interest for me at 1.37. I think we could get a strong reaction off of that supply zone, especially with everything that's going on here. So I think we will probably push up, kind of base, spike into it, and do that. That's what I see playing out on the USDCAD here. And how do we actually trade that? Well, obviously for swing trade shorts, we want to wait for that supply, the purple zone, to be hit first at 1.371. Now, as far as trading it long goes, look, 1 hour trend to the upside, 4 hour trends to the upside, we could definitely just continue to look for longs. Unfortunately, no zones for you to point out here. I'm not going to point out crappy zones like this just for the sake of the video, guys. You guys know me. I'm very, very honest in my trading, so I do not want to point out bad zones. But look, with the trends of the upside, with profit margin, like I said, up to that daily supply area at 1.37, I think longs are definitely on the table right now for sure, especially since on the daily chart, we have pierced through the zone quite a bit. I think that's where we are headed. So unfortunately, the 4 hour zone has already been taking place. No 1 hour zone here. So, but look, if you're on day trading timeframes, like a 1 minute, 5 minute, or 15 minute chart, as long as we have the 4 hour uptrend, longs are definitely okay. And I would look to take profit around 1.371. On to the forecast for the Aussie US dollar. The past week, the banks added 3,411 longs, and they also added 13,800 shorts. Definitely a dilemma here in the Aussie US dollar. If you just look, I have my 4-chart layout out for a reason here. That's why I also like my 4-chart layout, so I can see these things with the click of a mouse, right? Okay, so first thing I notice is we are inside of weekly demand. Now, this weekly demand is tested, barely tested, but it is tested. It's weekly demand, but we have a very, very, very strong daily downtrend. Now, we have kind of lost the trend on the 4 hour chart over here, but with the daily downtrend in play, it's definitely risky to be getting in long here on the Aussie US dollar. That's why confirmation is going to be key here. So there's really two camps here. Obviously, you're either bullish or bearish. So if you are bearish the Aussie US dollar, I really don't think swing trading short is your best bet, because when a weekly demand zone is in control like this, we could see spikes up, which could definitely eat out a lot of your profit margin, right? So I think if you have a short bias, I think that makes sense, right? We have a daily downtrend. I get it. On day trading timeframes, I definitely see the reason to be looking for shorts. So I'll keep it simple. If you are looking for shorts on those day trading timeframes, at 0.647, we have this 4 hour supply zone right here. Not a huge fan of the zone. I mean, I like the way it looks. I like the way it pushed down, but I don't like that it's a very obvious peak but this could be used as your curve, your higher time frame, where we could look for confirmation trades coming off that 4-hour supply on your day trading timeframes. That's what I wait for here on the Aussie, or if we get a bigger pullback up to 0.656, we could also do it up there. I'm actually going to tighten that zone up a bit, but we could also do the same idea up there. And then for longs, sorry, I didn't mean to remove that chart, but for longs, also, this is what I'd be waiting for longs. I'd be waiting for that to be removed for swing trading longs, or even day trading longs. If that gets removed and we pull back down to the 4-hour demand that removes that supply, that would be your 4-hour confirmation trade coming off of that weekly demand zone. So really going to all revolve around this 4-hour supply zone. And look, maybe you like to do both. I don't really recommend to anybody to day trade and swing trade, especially if you are new. But if you're really good at doing both, what you could do is be looking for the day trading short confirmations in here. Let's say you get a quick little trade off of it, take profit, and then the best case scenario is we break out of it. 1-hour demand, like I said, pull back to the 4-hour demand, and we get a trade like that. So really all gonna revolve around that 4-hour supply level on the Aussie US dollar, as we have the weekly demand in control, but that daily downtrend. Pretty tricky situation here in the Aussie. USDCHF forecast. The past week, the banks added 1,366 longs, and they also added 1,507 shorts. Very, very significant thing is taking place right now. Very, very clean and consistent daily downtrend. Daily supply is in control, 0.885. And not only that, we have a downward trend line in control as well. Now, to me, it kind of looks like we are basing up. The problem with this daily chart here is like you could be saying, oh, we're actually going to break this downward trend line right now. You could be guessing that. And the reason I kind of disagree with that is because if you look at a weekly chart here, kind of get that bigger perspective. If you look at a weekly chart, oops, did not mean to do that. If we look at a weekly chart here, we are pulling back into this purple supply zone at 0.887 in a weekly downtrend as well. So I think we could actually start to roll over here. Now, are we going to go down and break the low here? I don't know, but I definitely think we will get a reaction off of this weekly supply area. So definitely be trading long with caution right now. Yes, we do have 4-hour, 1-hour uptrends. So if you want to get it long, it's got to be on day trading timeframes only. I cannot stress that enough. So it could be a situation here on the daily chart, where we get something like this. Maybe we spike up above the trend line, stop all the trend line traders out, and then kind of maybe react off the supply above at 0.8963 and then roll over. So I'm definitely bearish here on the USD Swiss. Not yet though. What I would need to see for confirmation, the safest confirmation right now would be this, where we not only remove the upward trend line, but we also remove demand. So if that takes place, leaving us with 4-hour supply, that would be the trade. That would be your confirmation trade. That's confirmation trading in a nutshell. I have a lot more tips videos on it. Even in the membership, I have video lessons on it as well. But that is confirmation trading in a nutshell. We wait for a higher time frame to take control, and then we wait for the shift in momentum, and we short the pullback down to the zone that was responsible for removing the upper trend line and the demand zone. So that's what I will be waiting for swing trading shorts here on the USD Swiss. Last but not least, we're on to crude oil. The past week, the banks got rid of 8,684 longs, and they got rid of 947 shorts. Look, I think we are possibly going to pull back down to this daily demand at 76.30. I've been saying it for a while now. There still is evidence that we could push down to there. This would be a great area to look for your swing trading longs in. That's pretty much the only time I would look for swing trading longs. But look, the evidence is still in that we are pulling back down to there. Yes, oil has been pretty strong the last couple days. I would say it's been pretty strong. But if you look at a 4-hour chart, I mean, this is why multiple time frame analysis is so important. This is what I teach a lot in the membership as well, is the multiple time frame and multiple sequence analysis. Look, you might be saying, okay, oil, like higher highs, higher lows, right? We got to be getting in long here. Look at this trend, right? And look, if you're on a 1-minute chart, I think that's fine. But there's also something to consider, right? Look at the 4-hour chart, one time frame higher based on the math that we do in supply and demand. But look, clean downtrend, I really see no sign that we're going to continue to push up here. Yes, we could push up to supply at 81.48 and then react off of that. That's definitely a possibility. But right now, I'm just really seeing no evidence. But look, if you think we're going to pull back down the daily demand, I'm really seeing nothing here. But if we do pull back up to, like I said, this 4-hour supply at 81.48, could be a great area to look for shorts in. Even these two supply zones as well. Look, if we pull all the way back up to here, I think we're probably just going to break above it. So at this point, you want to really be looking for confirmation in these zones on those day trading timeframes to the downside on crude oil, and profits definitely should be taken at daily demand at 76.30. So as long as we have that 4-hour downtrend and 4-hour supply zones being respected, we can continue to look for shorts down to daily demand on oil. I hope you guys found this weekly Forex forecast helpful. If it did, I would really appreciate a like and a subscribe if you are new to the channel. And as always, check out the YouTube and Patreon membership if you want to get my daily chart analysis and much, much more.